Hello everyone and welcome back to our emergency series running the entire month of May. So today is day 12 of 31 and today we're talking about static system blockages. So okay, pop quiz, which situation that you find yourself in makes a suggestion where to improve the state of your emergency you actually break one of your flight instruments? So you guessed it, a static blockage. Okay, so we'll come back to that little nugget a little bit later. So first of all, if you are flying and your static port becomes blocked, how would you know that? What initially would you know, or would you maybe not know at all? So a static port blockage affects the pitot static systems in the following ways, right? An airspeed indicator will still indicate changes in airspeed, but it will be inaccurate. The altimeter will freeze at the altitude where the blockage occurred, and then the VSI will produce a continuous zero indication. So if the altimeter and VSI do not reflect climbs or descents, that is a clear sign of a blocked static port. So if you encounter this, then what would be the solution? Well, some aircraft are equipped with an alternate static source. So this system allows the pilot to provide static pressure from another source if the main port becomes blocked. Now the location is typically inside the cockpit, which keeps it available in flight and free for the pilot to access when it's necessary, right? So utilizing this alternate static source enables relief for the blocked static system by letting alternate static air into the system. Now the alternate static source provides slightly lower pressure than the external static port, so this will cause the pitot instruments to work slightly different when using the alternate static source. Now how that will be reflected is in the following ways. So the altimeter will indicate a slightly higher altitude than the actual altitude. The airspeed indicator will indicate an airspeed greater than the actual airspeed, and the VSI would show a momentary climb and then stabilize. So what if the aircraft you are flying doesn't have an alternate static source? Well, in cockpits with these old steam gauges, you can break the face of the VSI, right? So this introduces static pressure into the system, but would render the VSI inoperative, of course. So why would you choose the VSI? Well, the answer is simple. It's the least important and cheapest pitot instrument to replace. Now that might be a good recommendation for IFR, but that could be going a little bit over the top for a VFR only flight, right? So when you are flying in visual flight rules, it's probably a better idea to just land the plane by looking outside, right? Remember, the pitch plus power is going to equal airspeed, like that we talked about yesterday, right? So this is another good scenario where those skills, they will allow you to operate normally and safely even with a static system failure. So what can we do to help prevent static system failures? Well, I think it starts with a good pre-flight, making sure the static port is free from obstructions, bugs, dirt, whatever could be blocking it. And then in flight, it could be blocked due to ice or trapped moisture, right? Now, unfortunately, there isn't a static heat like there is a pitot heat. So if it becomes blocked in flight, right, this is where you would use that alternate air static source if it's available. Okay, so day 12, static port blockage. It's not really an emergency for VFR, but it could be a bit more concerning in IMC conditions. So thanks everyone for watching. Fly safe. Hope to see you tomorrow on day 13.